Man, the guy's thick. This guy, man, I don't know what he's saying. He's not wrestling for the fights, man. Here, we don't play wrestling. He's fighting, man. I don't care, somebody takes me down. I don't think so. This guy gonna come to the cage and come and take me down. No, it's not wrestling. We don't stay like wrestlers, man, with this wrestling clothes, man.
Bo Nickal is facing heavy criticism after his recent loss to Reinier De Ridder, and Khamzat Chimaev didn't hold back. However, Bo Nickal's recent loss was seen by many as a fraud check, his first real test against elite competition. Hyped as a future star, he faced Reinier De Ridder and came up short. The defeat raised questions about his readiness, but one setback doesn't erase his potential or what comes next.
The knees, Reinier De Ridder was raining knees after any combination. He'd throw a kick, throw a punch, he'd throw a knee. He'd throw a combination, he'd throw a knee. He would throw a knee, he would throw a knee. Bo Nickal ate every single knee. I don't know if he blocked, but 5% of them. It caught up to him. I'll add the video in here, but Bo Nickal TKO'd by Reinier De Ridder via knees. The All-American national champion was helpless out there.
Ariel Helwani reflected on Bo Nickal's loss as a clear sign that he had entered a much higher level of competition. Despite being a massive favorite going into the fight, Nickal was outclassed by Reinier, who delivered a well-timed knee to the body that ended the bout. Helwani highlighted how Reinier's experience and composure stood out, proving that skill and fight IQ can outweigh hype and potential when the stakes are high. He emphasized that the loss was clean and undeniable, showing that there are levels to the game.
But this was a massive step up in competition against Reinier De Ridder, and you know the odds wouldn't suggest that, because he was once again a gigantic favorite, and he lost. He lost fair and square. It was an absolute brilliant performance by RDR. The knee to the chest took everything out of him. It was a brutal shot to the solar plexus, and there he is, the multiple-time one championship champion, proving that on this Saturday there are levels.
Helwani also addressed the reaction from fans who were quick to label Nickal a fraud, saying those kinds of takes miss the bigger picture. He believes this isn't the moment to define Nickal's career, but rather the beginning of an important phase in it. Now that Nickal has faced real adversity, Helwani sees this as the true starting point to discover who Bo Nickal really is and how he'll respond to his first professional setback.
And so, of course, in the aftermath, there's the fraud check stuff and all that. And I'm not even going to sit here and say, oh, fraud check, what does it mean? Like, we don't even have to get so granular when it comes to that. On Saturday, Bo Nickal was matched up against a very good fighter, a fighter who has been around the block, who has had success in other organizations and some early success in the UFC, and lost fair and square. And so now we get to find out who Bo Nickal is. Now you get to find out who Bo Nickal is.
Moreover, Chael Sonnen reflected on Bo Nickal's transition to MMA, saying that while Nickal has plenty of life experience, MMA is a completely different world compared to wrestling. He clarified that he wasn't just talking about technique or scoring differences, but something deeper. Sonnen shared his one big frustration with MMA, that fighters typically only get to compete 3 times a year. He implied that limited activity can slow down growth and momentum, especially for rising talents like Nickal.
Bo has had so many experiences in his life, but MMA is different than wrestling. And I don't mean just the scoring and the skills, obviously, right? Captain Obvious over here. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about, I have one resentment in MMA. Only one. And it was that we only got to do it 3 times a year.
However, Reinier De Ridder said he could tell Bo Nickal was hurt every time he landed a shot to the body, noticing that Nickal didn't want to take those hits again. He added that by the end of the fight, Nickal started throwing wildly, which to Ridder was another clear sign that the body shots had done damage.
Every time I would hit him to the body, I could tell he was hurt, and he didn't really want to get hit again. And then at the end, he was firing pretty aggressively. And this is also a sign that they got hurt, right?
Ridder further said that at one point in the fight, he felt like he almost had Bo Nickal. Sensing the momentum shift, he increased the pressure and showed some head movement. When he saw Nickal backing up and preparing to throw his right hand again, Ridder decided it was the perfect time to throw a knee, and it landed clean, ending the fight.
So I thought, I think I almost have you now. So I put some more pressure, even got to show some nice head movement. And I saw him backing up, getting ready to throw that right hand again. I think if I throw this knee right now, I'm gonna get him. So I did. That's about it.
Daniel Cormier brought up the idea that maybe, without even realizing it, Bo Nickal was worried about Reinier's size, and that's why he talked so much about weight. He asked the journalist to think about it from that angle, pointing out how big Reinier looked during the walkout and how he used his size to walk Nickal down. Cormier said Reinier made Nickal look like someone who isn't ready yet for the top level of the sport.
Do you think subconsciously, I got this from our good friend Adam Felton, do you think subconsciously Bo Nickal was doing the weight thing because he was very concerned about Reinier De Ridder's size? Because RDR's a big dude, especially when they walked out there. RDR was big. He was just walking him down. And honestly, Chill, he made Bo look like a guy that isn't that good and not ready for the highest level of competition.
Before the fight, Daniel Cormier broke down Bo Nickal's bold claim that no one at 185 pounds in the world can beat him in pure wrestling, not even Khamzat Chimaev. Cormier agreed, saying in a straight wrestling match, Nickal would dominate everyone in the UFC middleweight division. However, he also pointed out that wrestling in the octagon is different from wrestling on the mat. While Bo might be the best wrestler technically, Cormier explained that Khamzat's experience in MMA could give him the edge in cage wrestling. He noted that Chimaev often shoots from distance, which won't be effective against someone with Bo's wrestling background.
Bo said this. He said, I don't think there's really a guy in the world at 86 kilos, 185, that can beat me in wrestling. That is about as strong a statement in regards to Khamzat Chimaev that I've seen Bo Nickal make. Love you, Bo, but be specific. But he's talking about MMA. And honestly, I agree with Bo. Those guys cannot out-wrestle Bo Nickal. There's not a guy in the UFC at 185 pounds that could make it one round with Bo Nickal in a wrestling match. Get that out there. It is a complete non-event. It's a non-starter. He would literally mop the floor with every one of those guys in a straight wrestling match. Not close, not competitive. All of our favorites, we love them, but they cannot compete with Bo Nickal in wrestling. I don't want your comments. I don't want you to, I'm always like, yo, tell me in the comments. I don't want your comments. Bo Nickal 10-0 every guy in fighting in straight wrestling. But inside of an octagon is different. So in theory, what Bo Nickal is saying is true. But in reality, Khamzat Chimaev, the more experienced guy inside the cage, honestly may hold the wrestling advantage. Just knowing how to wrestle in there. One area that would give me a little bit concerned if you're Team Chimaev is that most of his shots are from distance. Those will not work against Bo Nickal.
Brendan Schaub expressed his strong belief in Bo Nickal's potential, saying that he sees Nickal as America's best hope for becoming a world champion. Cormier emphasized that Bo's wrestling is elite, and if he doesn't use it effectively, he'll be frustrated. He noted that wrestling usually dominates jiu-jitsu, and with Nickal's defense, he should have the advantage. While Cormier acknowledged Nickal's striking skills aren't his strong suit, he praised his seamless transition between jiu-jitsu and wrestling as what truly makes him special. He confidently stated that Bo should easily defeat RDR if he relies on his wrestling.
Bo Nickal is fighting. Y'all must have forgot. You guys know how high I am on Bo Nickal. I think he's our last hope as an American to become world champion. If he doesn't use his wrestling, I'm gonna freak the He's such an elite wrestler. Be so dominant in wrestling, you don't give a about their black belt. Wrestling usually beats jiu-jitsu 9 times out of 10 if you just have some defense. If we get a striking match, I'm gonna lose my and probably say nothing. But still, his transition is so high level from jiu-jitsu to wrestling, dude, that's what makes him special, not his striking. Yeah, but Bo Nickal should absolutely mollywop RDR.
Before Bo Nickal's loss, Khamzat Chimaev commented on the growing hype around him, saying he felt Nickal was being pushed too fast in his MMA career. He mentioned that while Nickal may be a strong wrestler, he's still too young in the sport and needs more time to develop. Chimaev confidently said that if they fought now, he would easily finish him in the first round. He added that even if they fought later, when Nickal had more experience, he still believed he would come out on top.
What's up, everybody? I'm here with Khamzat Chimaev. Bo Nickal wanted to fight you.
You're saying that his wrestling is pretty mid.
It's trash.
What do you think of Bo Nickal?
What should I think about this? I don't know. Why is he didn't pick him? Because they think the guy is too early for him, too young. I don't know how old he is, but in MMA it means like the guy is too young for the sport. He has to grow up. And if we fight now, gonna smash that guy easy first round. Maybe later when I'm older, maybe gonna make me tougher fight, but for sure gonna win at that time as well.
Sean O'Malley and Tim Welch shared their thoughts on Bo Nickal and Khamzat Chimaev, saying that while Bo might not be ready for Chimaev right now, he could be a real threat in about a year and a half if he continues improving his striking. They acknowledged that Nickal's wrestling could eventually match Chimaev's in the middleweight division. They also discussed the potential of Chimaev moving up in weight, possibly facing Dricus du Plessis or Sean Strickland first. However, they noted the UFC usually expects fighters to clean out their current division before moving up, and with plenty of tough opponents still ahead for Chimaev, including top 10 contenders, his journey is far from over.
I like DDP. Yeah, well, people were fired up. I tweeted it. Bo Nickal might be our only hope. They were fired up about that. I didn't mean Bo Nickal right now. I feel like Bo Nickal right now might get beat up by Khamzat, but a year and a half, if Bo keeps developing his striking, he's one guy who could match his wrestling in the middleweight division.
Yeah.
When it comes to wrestling.
What if Khamzat goes up there, runs through DDP, runs through Strickland, whatever? I guess it's hard to say because these fights take so long to play out. It's like, where's Pajeda by then at 205? Khamzat is a big fella. Khamzat takes Pajeda down.
I don't know if UFC, if
that's a big fight.
UFC would make him earn it. The UFC's not like,
no, for sure.
They've done it for a few people, but it's like you got to clear out your division first before you. Well, you move up. There's still challenges for Khamzat. Like I said,
no, for sure.
Hasn't fought. That's the first guy he's fought in the top 10.
Cannoneer's up there. There's some good fights.
So what are your thoughts on this? Share your thoughts in the comment section and make sure to subscribe and like if you enjoyed the video.